Records, One Old Guy for Now, while Sydney's lockdown restrictions continue to be intact. Mike and I decided to press on and to give you a few more segments, have a bit of fun, and talk about our love for records. Okay, for the last few episodes we've been looking at, original songs versus cover versions. Right, we've been looking at that. We've had some great combinations, but before we start today's episode, let's have a look at what AB has sent us. He's from Kings Row, and he has sent us a long list, as usual, of his favourite cover versions of classics. And he's got everything from Jimi Hendrix's classic cover version of Bob Dylan's All on the Watchtower. He's got a string of Beatles classics, from Jeff Healey, Zoot, Doug Parkinson, Joe Cocker. He's obviously a Cream fan because there's a couple of there from, Crossroads, Spoonful, I'm So Glad. Rolling Stones have done heaps of cover versions, but he's chosen Love in Vain. Obviously another bluesman, Eric Clapton, Cream, The Connection There, I Shot the Sheriff and Cocaine. Van Halen doing The Kinks, You Really Got Me Now. Marianne Faithfull with the John Lennon classic. The Gypsy Kings doing The Eagles, Hotel California. Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah. Jeff Beck, She's a Woman. And Creedence, Clearwater Revival, Heard It Through the Grapevine. Phew, but like a spruiker, AB has a second list, right? So let's go through the second list. And he talks about, Santana's Black Magic Woman, okay, Talking Heads, Taking to the River, Aretha Franklin doing Respect, and of course Roxy Music doing a tribute to John Lennon with Jealous Guy. Thank you, AB, from Kings Row, for that long list of cover versions. You make a really great point about new and young blues artists covering the classics, as well as younger metal bands doing metal cover versions, and of course the jazz equivalent. Okay, I'm sure there are long lists attached to all those three genres too. Okay, but today I'm looking at a classic, and that is the Animals, We've Got to Get Out of This Place. What a song. I've got it on this EP, The Animals Are Back, and incidentally, 3 of the tracks on this EP are cover versions, right? You've got Bring It On Home to Me by Sam Cooke, and you've got Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, which was a Nina Simone classic. But we're not looking at those songs, we're looking at We've Got to Get Out of This Place. Okay, and it is by the Animals. Now, the Animals were a rhythm and blues band from Newcastle, England. Go the Tunes. And of course they had done several cover versions all the way through early in their career. Okay, they did things like John Lee Hooker's Boom Boom, okay, which I enjoy. But they covered a traditional song called House of the Rising Sun, right? And I've got to give a rap here, not only to Eric Burdon, but to Alex Price's organ playing, because when I think of the Animals these days, that is a signature instrument that I have become to know the Animals with. So you've got this organ intro, and you've got Eric Burdon's amazing vocals, and House of the Rising Sun goes wild on the charts, reaching #1. Right, so they've got a #1 track, okay, House of the Rising Sun. Now, when it comes to, a year later, they're looking at recording again, and there was a song called We've Got to Get Out of This Place. It's not their song. They didn't write it. It was a guy called Barry Mann and Cynthia Will. They were songwriters, professional songwriters for recording studios. Okay, they sort of came up with it. There was a demo around. Now, the record executive, Alan Klein, right, hears a demo, gives it to Mike Frost, who's the producer of the Animals, and the rest is history. Now, Alan Klein, you'll know that Alan Klein becomes famous for becoming the manager of the Beatles and later the Rolling Stones. But anyway, that's another story. Okay, so the rest is history. The Animals record We've Got to Get Out of This Place, and what a track, right? For me, the musicianship's great, I get that. I like Eric Burdon's vocals, but what resonates with this song is the theme. We've got to get out of this place if it's the last thing we do, right? Now, this song falls into its context perfectly because you've got the Vietnam War happening at the time. 1965, American troops are already there, disillusioned, right? Stuck in these jungles, and you know something? No wonder they loved "We've Got to Get Out of This Place" if it's the last thing last thing we do, right? So yes, a great track that resonates with the American troops there, but also that universal thing that, we've got to get out of this place, this unfortunate place, and improve our lives. It's something that can appeal to everyone. And that, I think, is probably the most important factor to the song, that universal appeal to its theme, right? But a little bit of trivia, guys, is there is actually a difference between the American version and the UK version. And the UK version says, "See my daddy in bed a-dying." But the American version says, "Watch my dad in bed a-dying." So I don't know what happened there, right? But obviously, the different version or different take was sent. So you had two different versions. Very, very interesting, right? But it doesn't take away anything from the impact of this great song, right? It charts very well in both America and the UK. Fair call, right? And the Animals just keep on going after that. Now, for me, I'm going to look at, for example, the first cover version is one of my favourite Australian bands, The Angels, right? And the Angels do this, and it is a great Angels song, right? Or a great Angels take to the song, let's say that. Now, it is driving, okay, heavy on the riff, really, really great Australian rock, right? Now, why they did it, well, okay, it's off the album called Howling. It's about the 8th album in their catalogue, so it's very, very deep in their career, okay? Now, I think at that point John Brewster had left the band, okay, and he was replaced by Bob Spencer, and you can hear that real strong riff of Bob's in the song. I think the drummer Brett Eccles had once said something along the lines of, with John Brewster leaving, they were playing with different instruments, and they introduced horns, for example, to "We've Got to Get Out of This Place." And of course, what makes it a very, very signature Angels track is, of course, Doc Neeson's vocals. I mean, Doc had just such a distinctive voice. No matter where you heard him, you knew it was Doc Neeson, and that is, yes, the Angels signature also. Doc Neeson's vocals, and it's a driving hard rock version of it. It's great. Now, incidentally, it charts at number 7 on the Australian charts, and that is the highest position of an Angel song, which surprises me because they are so important to Australian rock, and they've got such a huge back catalogue, and it's this song here that charts the highest at number 7. Go figure, right? And lastly, another cover version. Now, if you call it a cover version, because it's quite strange, it's why I selected it, and that is Katrina and the Waves doing "We've Got to Get Out of This Place" for the soundtrack of China Beach, the series on the Vietnam War, right? So it fits, get it, right? Katrina and the Waves had some enormous commercial success with their song "Walking on Sunshine," okay? Yes, get that? They did this song, but guess who features on it? Eric Burdon himself. So here we have a cover version where the original singer is on the cover version, right? Now, the song is a little bit different. You'll notice that the emphasis here is on the vocals. So Katrina Lescani, his voice is such a strong voice on it. It's great. But then you've got, as a second voice, complementing her, Eric Burdon himself, and you can see the chemistry between them, especially around the chorus. Okay, so yes, Eric Burdon featuring on an Animals cover version, right? So great version, bit different having the two vocalists, right? But nonetheless, great cover version. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer the original, the iconic version, the hard rock driving Australian version of the Angels, or you've got this cover version / tribute, right, to the original from Katrina and the Waves? We leave it up to you. Thank you. Don't forget to comment. Please comment. You know, have this interaction. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with the next edition of Original Songs versus Cover Versions. Should be a lot of fun. See you tomorrow.